Good morning, everyone. Today we will start our next topic of our chapter, that is Introduction to Machine Learning in Healthcare, and our topic is dimension reduction, that is considered in the unsupervised learning in healthcare basically. So dimension reduction is basically an unsupervised machine learning algorithm, and its purpose is just to reduce the dimensions. And what does it mean? So just let me go through scenario first. So healthcare dataset often contain hundreds of clinical features. Example 5,000 patients with 300 lab tests, vitals and history variables. So you will see there is a lot of features, lot of information. High dimensionality increases the model complexity and training time. So when we have a lot of features, so it will take a training time and our system will be slow because it try to train on these all features that are a lot. So dimensionality reduction compresses the features while preserving the clinical pattern. What does it mean? That it compresses the useless, just the useless features. It compresses the useless features while preserve the important features that will affect our model performance. So by just giving priority and just considering those features that have meaningful information while compresses the other one. Problems with dimensional health data, high dimensional health data. So, curse of dimensionality. Patient similarity measures become unreliable. When we have high dimensional data, that is where we have a lot of features, so patient similarity measures become unreliable, right? Unreliable, high computational cost. Just I have told you that our model is training on large amount of features, so the performance will get slow because there are a lot of features there. Impossible to visualize the patient groups directly. Noise and redundant lab tests increase the overfitting risk. And what is the overfitting? That we have a lot of features and our model try to fit at each data point. So when we have lot of data and our model try to fit at each data point, also those data points that have no useful, no important information, that are the noisy one and have a little effect on the model performance. So when our model try to fit at every data, whether it is useless, whether it is useful or not, so it cause overfitting that affect the performance of model, that is overgeneralization. Our model is over generalizing. After that, what is the goal of dimension reduction in healthcare? Reduce the number of clinical features by applying the dimension reduction, that reduces the dimensions basically, that compresses those features that are useless and have a little effect on the performance while preserve the important features. So what are the advantages of it? So we reduce the number of clinical features. Now you will see, before we have a 5,000 patients, 300 lab tests, history variables. Now we are just compressing our large amount of data. We reduce the features of the clinical features of it, and after that reduce the number of a clinical feature, preserve the diagnostic and prognostic information, improve the model efficiency and stability, enable the 2D and 3D visualization. So just we are compressing our the model features in order to make it more better to be trained, and the accuracy will be great. So this is just a concept of a dimension reduction, that we are compresses those features that are useless and have a little effect on our model performance. Now there are technique, that is PCA, and other one is just like t-SNE and UMAP. So we will see these are the three ways in which the dimension reduction is done. So first of all, we just go through what is a dimension reduction. Now we are going toward the techniques. So principal component analysis. It transforms the correlated medical variables into the independent components. So through principal component analysis, the separate components are made that are independent with each other. Example, blood pressure, cholesterol, BMI combined into the risk components. because they have similarities. That's why they are grouping and considered into the risk component. So each component captures the maximum variance. PCA is a linear transformation technique. So the first thing is that it is a linear transformation technique, and it basically make independent components. So how we have to correlate it, so we will see here is a diagram. So in PCA, what is happening? So you will see this is your data, and it is a linear approach. So for non-linear case, it will not work, the PCA. We will go move toward the next technique. So here it is a linear approach in which you will see this is our data, that is variable 1, variable 2, x-axis and y-axis, and this all green points are my data. So here in PCA, basically the data is analyzed among different angles. First of all, one angle is made. You will see the red line, this one, PC1. It is calling PC1. This is one component that is made, that is a PC1, and large amount of data is here. You will see all the data points are together to that axis, that line. So first angle is that one, that is PCA1. One component is made by analyzing data in that angle, this one, and other component is established by analyzing the data on the different angle, this one. So the data is basically analyzing in different angles. First of all, this is my angle and I make it PCA1, and the other angle is PCA2, and both these angles are independent with each other. Both give meaningful information, not the same. So PCA1 give other meaningful information, and PCA2 give me another meaningful information. The information is not same. It just analyzing the data points different angles in such a way to extract the meaningful information. After that, the components are made at PCA1, PCA2, and these components are independent, that not related to each other. So look at which features change together. Find the main direction where data varies the most. Keeps the direction as a principal component 1. So we just make a principal component 1, that is our that angle. You will see this line is made. When we analyze the data in that angle, find the second best line direction. So this is the best line, second one having some data points, and our first line have most of the data points, high variance. But PCA2 has a small amount of data, but it has data, so we will consider that component also. Both give the meaningful information, not the related one, that it is not a copy. PCA2 is not a copy of a PCA1. Both give us some meaningful information. Ignores the low importance data directions. Importance direction. Those directions are ignored that have a noise. So in PCA, basically, it is a linear method. Here, data is analyzed among the different angles in such a way to extract the meaningful information and ignoring the those angles that have a noise. So after that, we will see that what are the characteristics in healthcare of PCA? It is a linear dimensionality reduction method. Components ranked by the explained variance. The reduce the multicollinearity in clinical data commonly used before clustering or prediction. So here clustering or prediction is not done. Here is just pre-processing we want to do. That we just want to extract the meaningful information by analyzing the data on the different angles. And one more thing is here the standardized. So here important thing is that standardize the lab values and vital signs, compute the variance between the clinical variable, extract the igni vectors and igni values, select the top components explaining greater than and that equal to 90-degree variance, project patient data into a lower dimension. So basically here must be necessary that the angles are orthogonal, that first of all you will see data is analyzed at that angle, that is PCA1, and other is PCA2. So the angle between them must be the 90-degree between PCA1 component and PCA2 component. So the angle between them is 90-degree, that is orthogonal. After that, so this is basically for pre-processing and all that thing. After that we have t-SNE, that is a t-SNE purpose in the healthcare. So what does it do? Here the main concept is clustering is done on the basis of our neighbors. So, purpose in healthcare, visualize the high dimension data embeddings, map the data into 2D or 3D. So, high dimensional data is mapped into 2D or 3D space, help to discover the hidden diseases, that subtypes used for exploratory data analysis. So, this is a t-SNE, and here the main thing is that it is a non-linear method. So PCA is a linear method. You will see the data is linear. There here is a non-linear method, preserving the local patient similarity. So on the basis of similarities, it is doing the prediction. Excellent cluster visualization. So here clusters are made. Computationally expensive for large data set, not suitable for the predicted modeling. So PCA is for the pre-processing, but t-SNE is basically a non-linear method and it is used for making the clustering, basically for visualizing of data. And here is also diagram of it. You will see in t-SNE we have a clusters here, and the data is basically it is a non-linear approach, and here clustering is made on the basis of a neighbor. So PCA is for pre-processing and t-SNE is for the visualization. So you will see it is a better visualization that have a clusters upon the neighboring data points. So this is the main difference about them. And then UMAP, that is a modern method. So it has both properties, that is a mixed properties about the that we have studied is PMAP and t-SNE, that it also do clustering and also pre-processing. So this is a property of it, that it has both properties, but algorithm has a unique different algorithm, but it consists of properties of both the previous algorithm. So when we analyze this, so PCA is a dimension reduction for modeling, and t-SNE for visualization of a high dimension data. You will see we visualize our data in form of a clustering. After that, method in PCA is a linear method, t-SNE is a non-linear method, structure preserved. In PCA we have a global variance, in the t-SNE we have a local similarity, that on the basis of a neighbors we may make the clusters. And then uses in ML, you can feed the model no only for plotting, it is used for plotting. Speed, PCA is a fast and t-SNE is a slow for the large data. So key points is that PCA is for modeling and pre-processing, t-SNE is for visualization and cluster insights, and visuals data and reduce features, that is pre-processing and clustering, both are in using in the UMAP, that it is more fast, preserve overall the relationships. So this is a summary about it, that linear in PCA. So as we are telling about asking about the linear method, so what does it means that PCA assumes that data lines lies along the straight line direction. It rotates the axis to find the maximum variance, cannot capture the curve or complex shapes. So in PCA, basically data lies along the straight line. You will see here in PCA we have two angles. One is PCA one component, here data is lining in the straight line, and we just shift the line. Line is rotated in such a way that all features are lying in it. And also same thing is for doing in the PCA 2, that is our other angle. The data is tilted in such a way that this line becomes straight and you have a maximum features around it. So this is a way that it is a straight line, there is no curved and other lines. So this is a linear method basically, that is the data lies along the straight direction, it rotates axis to find the maximum variance, cannot capture the curved data. Non-linear in t-SNE is it focuses on the neighbor similarity that I told you. It can separate the curved and complex pattern, no straight line assumption. So in t-SNE there is no straight line assumption, non-linear and curved patterns are easily recognized. While in PCA we just make that everything lies on the straight line, that our data, we assume that data lies along the straight line and the line is rotated in such a way that we have a maximum variance. So these are all the concepts about the dimension reduction that we have covered in that lecture. What is a dimension reduction? That's purpose is to preserve the important feature while compress the compress the useless features. And these are technique, that is PCA is a linear method, t-SNE is a non-linear method, UMAP is a modern method that has both properties of a PCA and t-SNE. PCA work with the linear method, that is a straight line data we assume, and line is rotated in such a way that we have high variance. While in t-SNE, we just have a neighboring data point similarity. On basis of that, clusters are made. So t-SNE is basically used for visualization, and it for work for complex and curve pattern as well. So I hope it will clear. After that, we will move toward its lab, in which we'll see the practical examples of that thing. So I hope it will clear. Now we will discuss our next topic in next session. Thank you.